and new people. I was waiting for a couple people to get in the room. Sometimes my handler or the guy who's throttling me, he doesn't pick it up right away. And I get like 10 or 20 people come in the room. But I guess not today. He must not mind working on Mondays. Or he works at night and he gets off, uh, I guess, about 7 o'clock or something. I don't know. All right, so I want to start this video with a Captain Obvious moment I had. Okay? Now I'm going to help you, save you a lot of time and a lot of prayer. Okay. There is nothing wrong with prayer. I swear by it. Matter of fact, on my way in here, I was praying. I'm like, oh Lord, make this old car get there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it usually makes it. Hey, can you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel? I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll subscribe to your channel. If you're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, you got a guaranteed one. Sometimes I do these. I might go for like an hour or something, and I might only get 2 subscribers. Ugh. But I get hundreds of views. So like and subscribe to my channel. Do it now, so you don't have to think about it later. Okay? Okay. So let me just start. Okay. So we got the sun and the moon. Now, this is going to help you. I'm going to help you with prayer and why we don't get our prayers answered. Okay? You could say the most beautiful prayer in the world, most heartfelt, most sincere, most directed, most focused. And that could be a prayer that doesn't get answered. All right? The guy who, well, I'm sorry, given all reverential do his name. This is just the way I talk, and I don't want you to be flippant or non-reverent whenever you talk about Jesus. Okay, that's not good. It's not going to go well for you. But I can do it because of the type of relationship I have with him. He's a friend of mine. He sticks closer to me than a brother, and he understands it. That sometimes I might call him that guy. Okay, and I do that because I'm trying to reach people who I don't know who don't know him. I'm trying to talk to them all kinds of ways as possible. The Bible said that Jesus became all things to all men so that he may by any means win one or find one lost or something like that there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do it that way. All right. I'd rather do it like this than some of the other ways that I've heard some of the other people do it. There are people who will talk about this gospel and they get way more views than I do, and they got churches and they collect tithes and stuff like that there. I don't think that I was built like that. I think I'm built for individual mono umano experiences. Okay? Um, it seems like it would be easier if you would have 1,000 people come to hear you and then you just talk. All right. And it isn't personal, but I mean, it's up to you. It's your preference. All right. Hello. Last good evening here. It's good to see you. I'm talking about how to get your prayers answered, why we don't get our prayers answered. And it seems like at some point we would catch on. Right, eh? Fender? I am a very happy person. I know that. there isn't a lot of people who will describe themselves as a happy person, especially in 2026 with all this fake news. It's all fake news. I'm going on, okay? Me, Malaysia. You from what? America, the home of the brave. And I mean the American Indian. And I mean the American Indian that is not depicted in the cowboy shows. They're good, but they're not the only American Indians there are. There are American Indians that actually look like me because we are from Africa. When they first got here, we look like Indians or something. So that means that they may not have seen they may have been like on the peripheral area of where the Indians were. So they may have been a little lighter complected. But the darker melanated Indian of America. Okay, so let's get that description going in your head because it makes a difference. I don't want you to look at me and say, "Oh, well, if you're an Indian, how come you don't have the long, thin hair and stuff like that?" There, all right, because there's a whole group of Indians that have been left out of the history book. The Victor tells his story, so I don't know. People just don't like us. I don't know what it is. My neighbor gets on my nerves, but I still don't dislike her. Okay, my alarm goes off at 5:45, and invariably she'll make some noise or a ruckus or something at 5:44. You know what I'm saying? she, she's on some different stuff, but you live and you let people live, and the creator of heaven and earth will let you live because he's the one who is ultimately in control. And if he gives you someone like that as a neighbor, you have to be careful. Hey, Cola, Goo, BOO, Grand Rising, longtime subscriber. You, my favorite non binary streamer. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. I've heard binary and non binary before, but since it's coming from you, I'm going to assume that that's good. Okay. So, let me see here. All right, so how come we don't get our prayers answered? People have been praying since the beginning of time because I know that Adam and Eve, when they got caught doing their mess, I know they started praying. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Non binary means good human, being true. Oh, thank you. All right. I'll subscribe back to you, Cola Goo. Please, if you're a new person, like and subscribe to my channel. I'll like and subscribe to yours, and we can both get 1,000 subscribers together and get monetized. Okay, that's the goal. I mean, I like talking to you guys and gals, but if I can make a couple dollars doing what I would do anyway, okay, if I wasn't on here, I would be on Facebook just talking my little brains out. Okay, so let's help each other. Let's act like we are in Noah's Ark and we depend on each other. Each of us got something to do. Somebody got that job where you have to scoop up the caca. I mean, that's just how it is. Okay. Um, so that's what I mean with how come people pray and they don't get their prayers answered. I'll tell you exactly why. Okay. I want you to think of two things. I want you to think of the sun and the moon. Okay? You may hear me say and a lot. And I tell you why I do that. I caught a stroke in December of 2025. I looked at my paycheck and it said how much money was taken out for FICA. I had a stroke. So, anyway, I digress. That's not exactly what happened, but I think I have a sense of humor. So, anyway, uh, one of the symptoms of having a stroke is you lose a little bit of memory. And I just thought about that, or I just heard that, or that was just made fresh in my mind a couple of days ago, or over the weekend, because I usually speak quite fluently. I'm one of those kind of melanated people who sound white or talk white. Okay, I just never felt the uh, desire to talk in slang. It's just I don't know. Uh, okay, and I'm a reader. I used to be an avid reader. I could read in like nobody's business. I actually learned how to speed read, and I want you to know it actually works. You can actually speed read. So I can read a page before I can read a page out loud before most people could read 2 pages out loud. So speed reading does work. So that's one of the reasons why I got on today. I want you to learn that uh, I want you to learn why you don't get your prayers answered. Okay, even though you have an eloquent prayer, even though you have flowery prayers and stuff like that. There, hi, a collego. Sorry, that's the coffee burp. I am Portuguese. Where are you from? We are. Um, we, listen, it'll be easier for us if we just say we are Earthlings. We are from this planet. If you want to give me an idea of what way to look and find you on the map, I probably wouldn't be able to find Portugal on the map. Okay, I'd probably have to use Google search or something to find out exactly where that is. So I could say I'm from America. You could look on the map and probably go right to America, but I might not be able to go straight to Portuguese or Portugal. So thank you for coming in the room. And what I want is to help people who are all the way in the West as well, because the prayers are the same wherever you go. If you are uh, finding yourself in a position where you have to say, "Oh Lord," okay, that's the same prayer anywhere you go. Whoever hears that knows uh, that they are hearing someone who's praying. So prayer is the same wherever you go. I find that people are the same wherever you go as well. Okay, the non-melanated people, they're cool as long as they got something to do, and after that task at hand or whatever, they have a default position that you might not want to be around. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean, put a heart in the room. Okay, so we are the original Indians. We are called Aboriginals. Okay. Now, Aboriginals is spelled A B dash ORIGINAL. All right, so we are the originals. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. Okay, that song's a lie. This is not our land, your land. This land belongs to the Aboriginals. So when you say Aboriginals, I want you to say it like it's 2 words. All right, not one. That's a mistake a lot of people make. They hey Max, that's a mistake that they want. Uh, that is a mistake that they make. They think it's their land and our land because we were here and they came here. So now they think, hey, this is our land. No, no, it isn't. I don't know if the melanated person, if they came over here and if they had the type of armament that the adversary had, I don't know if it would be like that. Okay, or, or the way it is now. I think that we are more compassionate. I know that we are people who we're just compassionate people. And I mean, every group has somebody in it or a portion of it that's not. They are people who are intolerant or whatever. So each group needs somebody like that. They are good defenders. Okay, um, even melanated people have to be defended or have someone to defend us. I don't know if you ever heard of Black Wall Street. Okay, it was in Greenwood. Um, Even though you are overseas, I love the islands people. So do I. I mean, they have no problems. If they're hungry, they go fish. Okay. When they get out of the water, they lay on the beach and dry off. I mean, what else is there? You know what I'm saying? I would go as far as saying uh, when they're wearing them skirts, those grass skirts and stuff, I don't think they wear underwear. But anyway, I digress. I don't know what my mind is doing in that. Okay, so I am American too, as well. Oh, okay, as Portugal. All right, thanks. No, we are all the same. I believe that we are all the world. Like Michael Jackson sung that song. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start living. That he was brilliant. I don't know if ChatGPT what was writing songs for him. Okay, as he came up with lyrics that we didn't have. We were listening to songs like "Start Spreading the News." I'm leaving today. I'm going to make a brand new start of it. New York, New York. To the types of songs he sings. So he was on some different stuff. He was one of the few artists that you might not suspect that he might have tried some mushrooms or something like that. Okay. So anyway, I digress. All right. So if you're wondering why I keep looking, I'm at work and sometimes people come in and I might have to get up and handle that. Okay. So I got somebody who just came in the car I didn't recognize. Ow, I hate when they do that. They see me sitting here and they're right past me anyway. So I'm going to wait until they get out so we can have parking lot drama. All right, now I want to tell you, young people, why you don't get your prayers answered. And I want you to I want to tell you, number one, the one who came up with prayer, he told us to pray like this: Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thine kingdom come, thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I'm trying to use my prayer voice on that one, but I don't actually pray like that. So he said, pray like this. So whenever you pray like that. But there are ways that you can pray and get your prayer answered. All right, you have to be smart. All right, so you got the sun, moon, and stars. They have a course that they follow. Now I want you to think of it like this. You know that the sun is going to rise every morning. Sometimes you might not see it until noon. Hello. And every evening the moon is will come out. And sometimes they're out at the same time. I love that whenever I see that. I know people from overseas, and I'll call them and ask them, hey, can you see the moon wherever you are? Or I might try to hit them up on the messenger, and if they answer, uh, I always find it amazing how we could see the moon here in America, and they could see the moon where they are. So I know it's pretty high, but in the sky, But uh, if I can see the moon sometimes at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the people overseas, for them it's like 11, uh, or 4 or 5 in the evening. So they wouldn't see the moon. Blah blah blah. If you think like that, you kind of have an idea where I'm going. So I haven't really been able to catch my friend overseas to find out, is the moon out. All right. I'd like to ask people overseas if they seen the blood moon. That's something that I've been looking out for. I don't know what was so special about the blood moon this month, because we've had, oh, wow, a scad of those blood moons over the last year. So either I'm not keeping good notes, okay, and finding that the significance of the different blood moons. But the last one we had was on March the 2nd or 3rd or something like that. And I wanted to find out from my friend overseas, did it turn red over there? Because I've never been able to see the red blood moon, or the moon turn red. One year, the moon was so big and so close, and it was a red moon day. I thought I was going to be able to see it, but they predicted that it was going to turn red at a certain time. And of course, by that time, man, that moon was like way up there. It became like this little dot. I was like, oh, wow. So I don't know if they got games and stuff. But anyway, this particular blood moon was a little more significant biblically than the other blood moons are. And they are all biblically inspired. All right. We have a calendar that has 12 months. But did you know that you could take 12 months, and you could take 12 and divide it into 365, and you would come up with 13? So, how in the world did we do? Uh, how did we get to 12? Okay, I, um, I'll see you tomorrow, Max. Or Wednesday. I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, so I don't know what happened to that person. They parked their car. They're still in it too. It's one of them big old huge cars. They're just huge for no reason. All right. The people who are driving these big cars like that, they're not even soccer moms. Trying to take a couple of people on a soccer team to a soccer game or something like that. They're just, uh, I don't know. I don't know why somebody needs a car that big. Okay, I've had a van before, and I am familiar with having a car that takes a little more space up on the road, but I don't know why. I, the next car I get, I won't get a big one like that. I'll get an SUV, but probably not that big. And if I'm smart, my nephew told me I would get a pickup truck. And I, he told me, hey, Uncle, you can get a pickup truck if somebody has a water cooler or a water heater out on the sidewalk. You could scoop that up, take it to the scrap place, and you can buy a pack of cigarettes that day. And I'm like, oh, okay. Some people, they just know how to hustle. And he's been doing it all his life. I'm like, oh, okay. So, anyway, I digress. All right, this is why we don't get our prayers answered. Okay, so the creator of heaven and earth told the son, all right, this is your course. That means this is what I want you to do every day. So, what the son did was he was like, okay, he jumped out there and he started doing that. He does that even up till today. All right, no problem. But I'm sure at some point it got kind of boring. Okay. Oh, Isaiah 55:6. Seek the Lord. while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. All right? Because the Bible says that the heart of man thinks of wickedness all day, and the Spirit of the Lord is love. And when the Spirit of the Lord tries to explain something to us, he might talk like this: the spirit of man is wicked and thinks corrupts all day. My spirit shall not dwell with him always, but his years shall be 120 years. Is my friend from Australia? Do you have someone that you know that is over 100 years old? All right. We don't have that many people in our family nucleus that may be 100 years old. I think if I keep eating right and keep seeking the Lord while He can be found, I think I may reach. I'm close to 100, 101, 102, and for health, I might make 120. And I would do that just because I want the word of the Lord to be true. Okay? That's how much I believe in His word. That's how much I believe in Him. And when people are like that, He, the creator of heaven and earth, He tends to be inside of you and He tends to want to come through you. And you kind of like that feeling, so you keep talking about Him. That's why I do that. I kind of like the feeling of Him using me, okay, as opposed to Him not using me. If there's a point where He's not using me, I'm gonna feel like the sun, okay, this and the moon. So first He created the stars, all right, and the lights or the luminaries. All right, so next He made the moon. All right. This philosophy of us being on a round Earth, I think there might be some problems with that because the sun and the moon were out at the same time. So either one of them is faster than the other, or the other one is slower than the other, and sometimes they find themselves in the same orbit. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen the sun hitting toward the moon, um, because I never watched it that long when I did see the sun and the moon together at the same time. Okay. So the next time I do that, I'm going to try to uh, focus and see if they are actually going toward each other. Hmm. That would be something to see. But best case scenario, they should be, if it's on a round Earth, they should be going away from each other, right? I mean, one's not going one way counterclockwise and the other one going the other way clockwise. That's the only way I could see them being in the same space at the same time. But anyway, I digress. So what I'm trying to tell you is why you don't get your prayers answered. Okay. I know because I got a bunch of prayers that I prayed and they haven't been answered yet. So I got to get something together here. I had to try to figure out why. Because sometimes I do long prayers. Sometimes I do short prayers. All right, so this is what you do. Okay, use the examples that he gave you. All right, how does a flower get their prayers answered? Well, they get their prayers answered by bees pollinating on them. They get their prayers answered by rain and sun. And I guess they get their prayers answered by the moon as well. Now, and the way that happens is they do what it is that they were created to do. And then they get their prayers answered that way. As long as they are doing what they were created to do, they'll get their prayers answered. Okay, our prayers getting answered if we're asking for something that we are not created to do, we're just not going to get our prayers answered. All right. Um, so let's go with another example. Um, when the Creator created the sun and the moon, since they've been doing that every day, don't you think at some point they got bored, or asked the creator, hey, could I go the other way for a while? Or man, do I always have to do high noon? um, can't I can't me and the moon switch? I come out at night. They have to have had those types of thoughts, and the only one they could really talk to was the creator of heaven and earth. So sometimes we don't get our prayers answered because it doesn't have anything to do with what we were created to do. All right. So uh, if you want to get your prayers answered, I think the Bible said, consider the lilies of the field. All right. And the birds of the air. A bird will always be a bird as long as he goes out and catches worms. Okay. There's no, okay. No worms are going to fall out of the sky into the bird's mouth. They know that they got to get up and they got to go and get the worm. The early bird gets the worm. Poor worm. I don't know which one to feel sorry for. The bird that has to get up and go and find the worm in the winter. In the winter, okay. And if you have snowmageddon, how many birds have we lost during snowmageddon? Did anybody go out and count how many bird caucuses were around? Okay, so they have, I guess they have birdlings all year or throughout the year. They don't only have birds once a year, right? Okay, I know you may not have thought about that, but uh, if they had birds once a year, if something like Snowmageddon comes out, that's going to wipe them out. There's no more birds, the next year. So they have to have them a couple of times throughout the year. So the older ones have to feed the younger ones. So that the bird's prayer is going to be a little bit different. Oh Lord, can you help me find some worms? I'm during Snowmageddon. All right, which was probably possible because they say that Antarctica has it. The Antarctica is actually a desert. Holy moly! Now I'm a person who grew up not thinking anything like that. I never would have thunk, because they did not teach us, that the Antarctica is a desert. Okay, so I heard that recently, and I understand that this could have been entertainment, or this could have been AI, or this could have been somebody trolling, or something like that. But to think of, when I think of it, one of the reasons why I would even consider a thought like that is because we're not allowed to go down there and see for ourselves. Okay, so they're going to have to take the hit for people saying, all right, hey, there's deserts down there, or there's a hole in the earth down there, or something. So they have to put up with all that stuff because they don't let people in. All right, so I'm still going somewhere. All right, so the sun, at some point, when you do something every day, we come up with sayings like, if you do the same thing, expecting different results, that is the definition of insanity. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the sun and the moon would, probably think like that. I mean, if they got a brain at all, but they know what their boundaries are. The creator of heaven and earth set them on a course, and they just don't go outside of it. Look how disastrous it would be for us if their prayers got answered. If the sun came out at night, if the moon came out in the daytime, that would be a disaster because of everything else that depends on them coming out in the daytime like they're supposed to, or coming out at night like they're supposed to. Okay, so this might be a reason why you don't get your prayers answered, because you're going to be somewhere that you don't have any business being. Okay, he didn't put you on a course for you to be in a hot air balloon. Okay, so all right, so kind of look at it like that, and make your prayers according to the course that you were created to follow. The course that flowers were created to follow is they come out in the springtime. We can smell them throughout the summer. I mean, they're really dying in the summer because it's so hot. But anyway, I digress. So they have their fragrance after they're uh, bloomed and blossomed. All right, and then it's time for them to hibernate or whatever. All right, because they don't really die. They just save all their water toward the bottom of the flower. All right, so all the water that they were using to in the plant for it to be strong and smelly, well, as it gets colder, they just use less and less water in it, and thing turns brown. All right, just kind of look at it like that. All right, so that's the number one reason that we don't get our prayers answered, is because to answer those prayers would put us somewhere where we're not supposed to be. Okay, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to do a long video today, but I might do another one later. Because this lady who came on here, or guy, they just parked and they've been there for 10, 15 minutes. So I got to go over there and find out. Hi, do you have a lease? Give them the speech. Okay. Any questions? Hey, Danny, any questions? Thank you for the scripture. It kind of pumped me right back up. I love the scriptures. Isaiah is a major prophet. Sometimes I read Isaiah and it seems like he should be in the New Testament, doesn't he? Okay, so, but he was a prophet, and he is. Oh, right now we are experiencing Daniel's prophecies with Iran and stuff like that. There, Iran used to be called Persia. And when you read the Bible, you're going to find out that Persia used to be a kingdom. All right, so this is 2026. With the exception of the Kingdom of the United States, there have been there have there was only so many kingdoms. All right, iron, clay, brass. Okay, and they were in a form of a Oscar. Okay, and the last two kingdoms, one would be Rome, okay, which would be a kingdom of iron, because that's what Rome was known for, and a kingdom of clay. I think that might be Persia or something like that there. So this is what people mean by the orange man is doing God's will. All right, I want to help you with that. Okay, you can do God's will even if you're not a saint. You can do God's will if you were an ain't, because God determines what you're going to do with your life. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, okay? So stick to your prayer that has something to do with what you were created to do, and you'll get your prayers answers. Just keep it simple. All right? I try to keep my prayers simple. I don't pray for long trips, extra money. I don't do that. If I end up overseas, I'm going to be over there by myself. Why would I want to take long, expensive uh, trips? So I ain't going to know anybody. And even if I go with a companion, we're not going to know anybody. So but we're going to have to be careful, watch our back and stuff like that there. So one of the best ways to go overseas, I find a plan. I find it is better to pray that a tour comes that I can afford to go to a particular place. And these tours are really not that expensive. I was telling a group the other day that I was able to go from the East Coast to the West Coast round trip for $212. All right. And the reason why I was able to do that was because I I purchased the round trip tickets, and it had a length of time that I would be here over the weekend. So that means that I'm going to be good for commercial activities. I'm going to spend some money here. So people try to uh, come up with some type of deal with the airports, okay, which is not really doing so good for the airports right now. But in order to get this commerce going, you have to understand that most of commerce is owned by the same people. They just keep buying instead of taking their money and helping support the needs of others. They just go out and buy stuff. Now that's prudent. I think that there should be some people who buy stuff, but for them all to have that same business model, I think they're missing something. I believe that if you want to make America great again, they they should go out, help somebody, and then leave, not stay. So, for example, if people are overseas in a drought area or something, well, America knows how to dig wells, find the water aquifers, and dig a well, and then after that, leave. Okay, but what'll happen is after they do that, then the powers that be will come in and are like, okay, here you have to pay taxes on that water. Okay, something that the Creator gave us for free. Okay, uh, I'm sure you heard the argument. Why are we paying for fruit? Okay, it should be free, but somebody figured out how to make a couple dollars off of it. So our business model will keep us from making America great again because we don't have the business model to help the downtrodden. Yes, these people who have the mega businesses and stuff like that, they have philanthropy, but you got to fill out application and oh boy, so it's not set up for where you can go in and get some kind of help or some support and come out and you're on your feet now. It isn't set up that way because somebody else figured out how to tax you or take advantage of you after you get on your feet, and it makes it not worthwhile to even get on your feet. That's why Peter. That's why people don't want to work. I mean, what's the point? When I do have a job, you take half of what I make, and you take it before I get it. I mean, at least we could come up with a reasonable. Okay, here I'll give you a couple dollars that I expect you to use to go help somebody else. All right, that the Bible says, let him work 6 days. Well, there has to be advantage to working 6 days if the Creator said it. So you should receive the advantage of that and of working 6 days. Now, not because you have a job that you make $200,000 a year. How much do CEOs make? I mean, that's insane. I understand that they got to fly around and pay for hotels and conferences and dress nice and stuff like that. But do they have to make? Do they have to make that much? Um, if you go to the airport, they have a section where you can go. If you got a ticket for United, they'll have lounges where you can go and wait for your next flight. Now, they don't have one of those flight boards in there where you could see if your flight was canceled or whatever. You have to come out of the lounge. Hello for that. But they have places set up that you can go if you find yourself being a United passenger and you might be experiencing a long layover. Well, you can go to this lounge and get some fruit, vegetables, maybe some oatmeal or something like that there. All right. So, uh, um, so you kind of get your prayers answered that way. So you want to go somewhere that answers people's prayers. Okay, that's one way to get your prayers answered. When we know we have places like that because there's a place or a foundation called Make a Wish. All right, and I think if we had more places like that, if we had as many Make a Wish places as we had as we have businesses, this world would be a better place, don't you think? Put a heart in the room if you think we could make America great again if we had more companies like Make a Wish. Okay, if we had more places like, what is that place that takes care of kids for free? I can't think of the name of it. Boy, what is that place? Okay, anyway, it'll probably pop into my head in a minute. I had a stroke, but uh, I'm not sure what part of my memory that I might have lost because I could still remember tying my shoes when I was 3 years old, and I still remember 2026. So I'm not really sure which part of my memory I lost, but I do know that I lost my ability to be a little more articulate because I used to be articulate. Okay, so I lost that, but see how easily I said and again, that's a pet peeve that I had, listening to people who say or it might have been my own pet peeve, me saying myself. Okay, so anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So I gave you a few examples how to get your prayers answered. You have to be, again, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I want to be able to get monetized. Um, the way I understand the monetize is if you, hmm, what did you say? I was the light, no more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow in sight. Praise the Lord. I saw the light. Oh, I saw the light. I saw the light. No more darkness. No more light. Then Jesus came like a thief in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. It's hard to sing songs like that if you don't clap. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more fright. And then Jesus came in the shadow of the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Yeah, some of you older people, you got to learn some of these older songs. They're going to pull you through. When you're not getting your prayers answered, you can sing those songs. And here's the thing, I went somewhere for someone to say, brilliant. I was able to take them with me. So this is how it works in the kingdom of heaven. The only way you're going to take somebody with you when it's time for you to go to heaven, chances are pretty good. You came in this world by yourself. You're going to go out of this world by yourself. Okay, so this is what we want to do. This is what the Bible means by iron sharpens iron. Okay, the Bible is doable. You can do what's in the Bible. You just have to find how to do it. Keep doing it. Be like the sun. Okay, no matter how many days you go around in this circle or on this course, you keep doing that, and then you get your blessing. But if you are a rose, which is a rose by any other name, and if you want to be a tulip, it's not happening. No matter how much you pray, you're not going to turn into a tulip. Tiptoe through the tulips in the garden with me. That's not in the Bible, or that's not a Bible song, but it's a classic. It might even be a standard. So, oh, okay. He is a the car that came in a couple minutes ago, or about 20 minutes ago. He's a construction worker. When he came out, he's on my side, and I was able to look in it and see he had on a construction vest. They got something going on with these construction people. They seem to be able to park on our lot, but they're paying someone else. I don't know how that works, but I tell you what, if this was my lot, we wouldn't have that. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to have my lawyers call my people, call their people, and no, we have to get something like that. But at the same time, if you're going to have a business, you're going to be in what they call a business community, and the community will determine as much your role in that business community. All right, and so you want to come in and you want to be like a McDonald's or something. Okay, the business community might already have a McDonald's. No matter what your aspirations are, if you're coming in with your business plan or something like that, it won't fit. So what we do is we try to find a niche. All right, I found mine, and I'm in it now, and I could do pretty much whatever I want. My resources are limited, but my imagination isn't, of what I could do here. So I'll put it together little by little until I get in my course, and I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's what life is. It isn't boring. It's the same thing. You're successful. It's opposite. You're successful if you are boring. If you can do the same thing. Are you doing all right? I am not the pixel. Because Paul said it like this. Uh, Now, Paul is a person in the Bible. For those of you who don't know, okay, who is this Paul? He's a guy in the Bible. Yep. How are you doing? How are you doing? Not the pixel, not the pixel. If you're going to ask me how I'm doing, the better answer is how are you doing, or I'm doing. How are you? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Or are you doing good as well, or something? Okay. Are you packing D? I'm a little bit older, so I'm not really sure what that means. So if you could say it another way, I may be able to answer that. But for now, I could just read it, and don't have any idea what you're saying. Are you as good as I try to be? Oh, um, yes. Uh, that's the thing about being good. Uh, it's the same thing. You pray, you be good over and over again. You can't change that. A leper cannot change their spots. If you are a good person, you might as well get used to it. Okay, um, you're going to you're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be sacrificed. All types of things will happen to good people. You you've heard the saying, good things, bad things happen to good people. All right. So you should have that in your plans. Okay. Oh, I mean me, not you. But good to hear. Okay. Not the pixel. So you'll do yourself a favor if you prepare for stuff like that. Most of our battles, we don't react to it. If you are a good person, you don't react. I was standing in line and I paid it forward with a couple of bucks for a homeless guy who was trying to get a beer or something. I don't know, because he's tall and he's a little bit wider than I am. So I'm only 5'6", so I like to say 5'6" and a half. All right, so I'm not quite 5'7". So anyway, but this guy's got to be like 6'2". So if his back is to you, you're not going to be able to see what's in front of you, or you won't be able to see what's in front of him. All right, he's a huge dude. He might be from the Nephilims. bloodline. Sheesh. So anyway, I know he's homeless, and whenever I see him, I just give him a couple bucks because I know he's homeless because I've seen him out there in the snow. He's not one of them kind of people who try to make 50 or 60 bucks from bumming from people and then they're going to go get in their Mercedes and go home. He's not one of those type of homeless people. He's the bona fide homeless person. So the reason why I'm telling you a story, it's not because I'm saying me, but what I do is I'll get a can of beer and I'll walk up to the counter. And if there are people there, the counter is wide enough for me to take my can of beer and put it up on the counter and then go get in line because I don't want to stand in line holding this cold can of beer, even if it's for, 5 minutes. Okay. So I saw that he was there because I put my can of beer there and I got in line behind him. So I could see that he was struggling. I think he was paying with change or something like that. So what I do is when I go in there, I take the amount of money I need because there's a good-looking cashier, and I might give her $1 tip. You know what I'm saying? Hello. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well just spend the same amount, giving her $1 tip. For me to go that far, I could spend that same amount in a local bar. Okay, so the can of beer I get is $3. If I give her $1 tip, that's $4. I could go into my local bar and just give them $4 for the same can of beer, and take my little self back home. But I don't really mind. I want to walk 7 to 8 minutes a day, anywhere. Anyway, and plus I get to ride my bike. Um, right, and it has inclined planes, getting to the beer distributor and back. So I get a little workout. All right, so I don't mind that. Plus I get to see this attractive uh, beer distributor lady or clerk or teller. Okay, so anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the story, huh? All right, so I handed him a couple of bucks. All right, now I learned a long time ago, and I still have this problem because as long as I've tried to solve this problem, I still haven't done it. All right, because my mind is telling me if you do that, you're going to lose control of the area. All right, so what I decided to do a long time ago was leave a credit card in my car somewhere, hide it or something like that there. So if I go somewhere and if my debit card doesn't work, then I could go to my car and get my credit card. Because if you have credit, you can go over your limit, man. You you have unlimited credit. All right, that's the first thing I want you to know. You could learn about that from a guy who will teach you that. Okay, okay? You know you have unlimited credit because there are people in jails that aren't paying to be in jail. They get 3 meals a day. They get entertainment. It's no wonder people come out of jail and they can't make it here in society and end up going back in jail. It's just easier. I mean, stupid is as stupid does. But if you made a decision that it's better for you to be in there, I mean, if you think about it, if it wasn't for the types of people that are in there and the stress of being in there, not knowing if it's a predictable or unpredictable place, you'd have it made. I am a body warrior. All right. Who is that? All right, Jim. 6254. I, I guess. All right. Iron sharpens iron, little brother. We're going to need you. All right. Awesome. Oh, I got comments on here that I didn't answer. All right. Not the pixel. You are awesome as well. Okay. X. I'm subscribed. I'm back to your channel. Um, if you are new, what I do is I try to give you the game. All right, I influence a certain age group that might not have the game yet. Okay, and I got the game because I lived it, and I try to tell people what to look out for. So, for example, someone on here said that they are a good person. All right, who is that? Oh me, oh my. All right, I think that was not the Pixel. He was indicating that is a good person. Well, uh, so I want you to know that since you're not my age, you may not know that you're going to be taken advantage of. All right, that's just what happens. So you can get some skills. So the church people call it, you can discern. Okay, one of the ways that you can discern being a good person is if you give to a homeless person. You want to determine, is this person using homelessness as a way to make money? It could be a job, okay, for some people. So I kind of look at it like that. And hey, I mean, I might give them a couple of bucks. They earned it. I mean, that's their job. They have this card game. It's called Three Card Molly. And if you're new to it, it's a fascinating game. It's three cards. It could be all the same kind. It could be all the same color, or so cards are turned upside down, and then they tell you, "Hey, I bet you $1 that you can't tell me where this card is." All right, so you're kind of not discerning that you can't win that game, okay? But they'll let you win one, so they'll be like, okay, and they'll three card molly the cards, okay, and then they'll stop and they'll say, okay, where's the card? Now you're right, and you kept your eye on the card. You touch the card, and they turn it over, and it's not the one you thought, or it is the one you thought. They'd be like, oh, okay, you won. So then they'll say, "Hey, do you want to bet $3 or five or whatever?" So you got excited, you got the dopamine hit. So technically, you should respond yes. All right. Now, so far, you haven't lost anything, but now you're betting five. All right. So all they did was let you win the one, and I don't know how they three card Molly, and they did the same thing, and you did the same discernment. How come this time you picked the wrong card? I don't know. I don't know how they do that. Okay, but I have learned that I can't beat them. All right. Now I'm out of $5. Okay, and if now my ego is trying to get that $5 back. Now I'm going to bet five and at least try to break even or something like that there. And now the person who is winning, they started out with $1 that they made four, and you're going to bet again, and now they're going to make 10. All right, so that's how they do it, and you don't have to have that many people play the game in order for you to make a lot of money. All right, you just need to be like at spring break or something, where you have a bunch of naive people, okay, and that's where they're going to make their bunch of money. I saw a guy, his ego got hurt by that, and what he did was he decided to go live and do a live video, and he's doing a commentary. Oh man, if you come down here, don't play this game. It's a ripoff. All right, I guess he was a younger person, because an older person walked over to him and he said, "Look, young man, you can't give away how somebody is going to make money. That's akin to killing them." All right. And when I thought about it, I was like, oh, yeah, he could be right. So, it's kind of a ripoff, but it's how some people make money. And plus, it's a game. So, if you're smart, instead of playing $1, you just come out playing 10. All right, look, I'll play 10 because they got to let you win one. So, you want to. I'm just saying, I'm not encouraging gambling. I'm on here. If you have a gambling problem, please call Gamblers Anonymous. All right, because any kind of problem, alcohol problem, gambling problem, it it's you're going to need some help. All right. I got a problem where I'm addicted to the creator of heaven and earth. That's a good problem. All right. That's an addiction I have. So, all right. So it's possible to beat the deceiver at his own game. Okay. They have this thing called 369 or something like that. And some people think it's good. Some people think it's bad. So what I decided to do was I'll do the 369 and use it for good because that's what our Father does. He plans all things for our good. He'll use all things for our good. All right. Particularly if you are on your course, if you are following the sun, if you're acting like the sun, doing what you were supposed to do, keep doing. Same thing over and over again. If you are like an adrenaline junkie, I don't know why someone would join a Facebook channel that has fails in it, FAILS, where you might see like a paraglider uh, jumping and they have a suit malfunction. So you know how that goes. I don't know why someone would want to go to that type of channel, but it's out there. I don't think that there's anything in there that's meant for my good, because all it's going to do is confirm this is something that I would never do. I would never jump off a side of a mountain. Okay, I'm not going to be one of those who will jump out of a plane. I had a chance to do a hot air balloon ride, even at night. It only costs $20, and what they do is they light it up. You know, it looks beautiful to see a bunch of hot air balloons lit up at night. All right, because they're quiet as all get up, except for the okay. Um, if they didn't do that, you would never know that one of them was overhead. Okay, because they're quiet. All right, now, all right, so where was I? So like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me get monetized and make a couple of bucks, and probably encourage you as well. Um, I don't. I never planned to grow up and be a motivational speaker, but apparently I'm good at it. Or the people who hear me are good at encouraging people. All right, so or iron sharpens iron. I realize sometimes now that I have certain people in my life who tell me, "Hey, you're good at it," or that I don't know, they like me, but they could be like I am, and so I'm kind of believing my own press. But when somebody is doing it on me, I tend to think, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I am good at this. Okay. But I'm not thinking that that person who is encouraging me is also good at that. It's a gift. Okay. So anyway, no more darkness, no more fright. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. And that's going to be a tune I'm going to have on in my head all day. Thank you for that. Okay. Are you doing all right? Yes, I am. I'm going to get a couple of subscribers to this channel today. They're going to like the video, so it does whatever it's supposed to do, because a lot of people like it. I was scrolling the internet. I think it's called scrolling, and I did a short. All right, and I don't know if you use Google or in anything, but the way they do it is they put 3 or 4 videos in a line. Okay, I guess the logarithm or whatever sends to you, I don't know, stuff that they are pretty sure you'll like and you will click on because it's a business. Trust me. They're not just trying to entertain you. They're trying to get paid. So they study you a little bit. Okay. Uh, I did a short. I did it earlier in the day, and I'm scrolling, looking for some type of entertainment, something to distract me. And my shirt came up. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So I got a dopamine hit. So anyway, I digress. But I'm learning the ways of others. I learned that they give you a dopamine hit. I know that people encourage me because they get a dopamine hit or I get a dopamine hit, but that's not what it used to mean. What it used to mean in the old days, in the biblical days, was iron sharpens iron. Okay, so all right, so full stop on that. I was talking about the orange man. If you've been here today long enough to hear my topic or my ranting, I had said something about the orange man in Persia and Iran and stuff like that. So the reason why that they are saying that the orange man is doing God's plan, again, uh, God will use you in His plans, and He will use the sinner. He'll use the devil to do His purposes. So, for example, He uses the devil and has been using the devil so long because the devil is more obedient than you are. He wants to do his dirt, and he's being obedient to that. He just keeps doing it. He's good at it. All right. Uh, so you're going to have to learn how to recognize them. All right. This is how you recognize them. Okay. He's not going to be talking about the creator of heaven and earth. All right. He may ask you, like he did Adam and Eve, has God said, if you eat from the fruit of the tree, you will not surely die, or something like that? He may mention, I'm God, I'm that way, but he's not going to be praising and worshiping God like we are, okay? So, anyway, be at least as cunning as your adversary, okay? Are you packing D? No, I'm not packing. As good as I try to be. All right, not the pixel. Oh, I mean me, not you. But good to hear. All right, not the pixel said awesome. Jim, I think that says Jim says I am a body warrior. It just makes me want to say it like that. I don't know why that is. All right, X subbed. Have you ever danced on the snow on the show Soul Train? Somebody asked me that before. It depends on what timeline um, you saw me on it on. So the timeline that I'm on now, I did not dance in the Soul Train line. Get it? See what I did there? Soul Train line, timeline, okay? But on another timeline, I may have. All right. Do you have a criminal record? Yeah. Everyone has a criminal record. Do you know how many codes and statutes and regulations that they have? And if you break one of them, you are a criminal. Okay, they come up with misdemeanors, felonies. You don't know all. You don't know all the stuff that they can get you on. Their goal in society, courts are designed to make criminals. They're not designed for justice. Okay, no justice, no peace. No racist police. Okay, so people have been trying to tell you all along, and the first thing they do is they arrest you for um, practicing your First Amendment. Okay, so yeah, I have a criminal record. If you live long enough, I didn't get one until I got to the age where I started Breaking Bad. But um, okay, that's what I just stopped trying to be the good guy and do everything right. Okay, I want to relax now. I want to retire, but they are so uh, set on getting me back into the job market, they're going to give me a criminal record, so I got to pay court fines and costs and stuff like that. They are quite cunning and quite shrewd, and they've been doing this for longer than what we have. If we just decided that we are in the woke community now, well, they had to figure out a way to get ahead of us because that's how they make money, being opposite of what you are. Okay. Um, they may not be able to get money from you being a good person who would give someone the shirt off of your back. They can't make money off of anybody like that. So they're going to have to find another way. And they have. You have to be at least be as cunning as your adversary because he never stops. He never sleeps. Okay. And sometimes he'll send someone else to work you or to work your nerves. But be of good cheer. The creator of heaven and earth has given an angel charge over you. And they never sleep either. And if one of them is having trouble with your particular uh, opponent or something, he got a buddy and he'll send them in. So Michael and Gabriel, they tend to be mentioned together because one of them was trying to answer a prayer for a prophet named Daniel, and it took him like I don't know 14 days. Oh, it took him 21 days to fight this guy. Okay, the good angel who had the prayer to who had the answer to Daniel's prayer. So the angel that was trying to bring this answer, he was like, "Hey man, would you mind uh, fighting this guy so I can answer this man of God's prayer?" All right. So the man of God, he's praying. He's been standing in the same spot, or not getting too far away from that spot, or he's concentrating and focusing on who the man whose mind is stayed on Christ Jesus is happy. But when you do it every day, that's the will you do it every day is the thing. So this is the example that waiting to get your prayer answered for 21 days. That's where that comes from, or something like that. It might not be specifically the reason why that they came up with that story, but it may take you 21 days to get your prayer answered. And it's a little more complicated than that because the person or the angel, I call them persons, uh, the angel that has your answer, it may take him 21 days to get here, and somebody had to help him to, get to where you are. All right, with your answer. So kind of look at it like that. So what Daniel did was he didn't move too far from that spot. There is a 175% chance that lightning is going to strike the spot that you're standing in. If someone says that, and if they got on a white coat and there's some sort of scientist or something like that there that you perceive, if I were you, I would move from that spot. Okay. Some of us know that um, there's a couple things going on with lightning. Some of us believe that lightning doesn't come from the sky, it comes from the ground. And periodically, you could see that theory happen. Okay, so anyway, I digress. And we have learned that lightning can strike a spot, and if it's in a pasture or something, if a lightning hits a spot, it kills all the cows in in that area. Okay, maybe one cow got struck by the lightning, but the 20 or 30 other ones around them got affected by that stroke of lightning. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, he didn't get too far away from where his answer was going to be delivered. So when the angel did make it through, he could still see some of them. Give me 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups. It's odd that you would say that because I learned how to do 100 push-ups. That was not on my radar, but I met a guy who encouraged me. For me to do 100 push-ups straight, in 15 minutes or less, I cannot do so far. But I can do 100 push ups. If I do 10, okay, you sound like Gideon, who was trying to get God to not kill everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah. He took it from give me 10 push-ups to give me 10. What Gideon had done was he he was trying to keep people from not getting killed because he knew some of them. Some of them were his friends. And he also knew when God, gets mad and says he's going to do something about something, oh, that's going to happen. All right. So right now, God is not telling me to do 10 push ups. So that's not going to happen. Okay. But I did learn how to do 100. So I can do 10. Then I could do 10 squats. Then I could do 10 arm raises. And then I can go back to doing 10 push ups. And I could do that until my reps equals 10 push ups, 10 squats. Squats is really good for you. It really is. I was doing a lot of sitting around, and I think I might have joined Snowmageddon. This has been a really cold winter. I don't belong to a gym or anything. This has been a really cold winter compared to the ones that we've had recently. We haven't had a bad winter. Okay, so uh, this one was pretty bad. It was cold. But we had wind gusts. We had microburst. Um, I work outside of a construction zone, and you know how they put up those gates up. The wind hit those gates or that fence. It knocked them over a couple of times, and the weather changes. So I came out one day. It was 40 degrees in the morning. That means you're going to have a pretty nice day. So I kind of dressed appropriately, and I rode my bike in. Uh, but I guess around 8 or 9 o'clock, it decided to uh, have a change of plans. It got freezing cold. The wind came from nowhere. It was an Arctic blast or something. Man, I was freaking freezing. And then I had to go find the construction manager and tell him, hey, man, your fence is falling on my parking lot here. I don't want it to fall on somebody's car. You want to send somebody up here, handle that. So that meant I had to go out and be cold again. This is why you see me dressed like this. No, because I learned to dress warm. I'm coming out here. I'm not out here that long anyway. This is a little short time gig. I'm out here from 7 to 10. I'm retired, so uh, I'm trying to get out of the house. So what not necessarily going to the gym or I'm something like that. So I've learned the benefit of walking 7 to 8 or 9 or 10 minutes. I can do that right here on my lot as long as I'm not having no microburst or micro blast or something like that. So so I kind of get my exercise that way. I'm a guy who can do those chair tai chi's exercises. Well, you guys should know if you sign up for that chair tai chi, it's it's like anything else. They want you to get a subscription for it. It's a 7 day trial period. Okay, it's a commercial, and it's designed to make money. You're interested in it, so you might take the 7 day free trial. But if you don't actually start it or actually use it in 7 days, I would recommend that you cancel that subscription. Okay, or cancel that 7 day trial because they're going to hit you up for $24. All right. So I mean, the guy, he got to get paid, but when I signed up, I wasn't. When I learned about the chair tai chi, I wasn't thinking about a $24 a month subscription either. So you're going to have to realize that anything you watch, most of what is influencing us is commercial. Those people, those advertisers, they do very good. They do a good job, and they pay them well, and they should because it's it's when we started back with YouTube, when it first started, it wasn't like that. Um, you could choose if you wanted to hear, if you wanted to have ads and stuff on your page, or that they might put an ad in there, but you'd have to do like I do now. And I've been talking for an hour and a half, trying to get people to subscribe to my channel so that I can get 1,000 subscribers. And hey, if you subscribe to my channel, I'll click on your name, open your page, and I'll subscribe to your channel. I found that a lot of people who are subscribed to my channel, particularly the ones that don't have a picture, they don't have any followers or any post or any videos that they've done. So they're probably bots. But I mean, I don't mind if I get 1,000 bots or if I get 1,000 subscribers. That's fine. I could still monetize because as long as I'm talking, um, I can be monetized. If I'm not talking, I'm not going to get monetized. If somebody tells you uh, that you can make money doing something, make money. Okay, why not? I mean, it isn't real in any way, so I could make it as much not real as anybody can. Okay, I should be a very wealthy man, my man, because I want much more of nothing. I want as much not real as a millionaire has or a billionaire has. Remember, our parents used to tell us this and we didn't understand it. But now that we are woke, we can understand what our parents were saying. They said something simple. They didn't repeat it, but when you got on their nerve, they would say something like, money don't grow on trees. All right. If it don't grow on a tree, it's pretty much not real. Okay. So only eat what grows. Everything else is just a taste or taste bud or a craving or something like that. There. So sometime I'm trying not to be a 120 pound or 130 pound weakling. So I will eat that extra stuff, food that does extra. Like cinnamon toast crunch and stuff like that. There, we know that's all chemicals. All right, but it tastes good. Sometimes you have a craving for it, so go ahead and eat a bowl full. But when you get to the point where you're eating a bowl full a day for like months in a row, okay, you got a problem. Okay, because now you have a buildup of the chemicals inside of you. So this is where we talk about detox. All right, so God is not. Ooh, hold on. Do. All right, so give me 10. All right, David. Yeah, let me see. God is not in this conversation. I need 10 push-ups. I would do 10 push-ups, but I'm outside. Okay, now I understand that I could take my phone outside and you can watch me do the 10 push-ups, but it wasn't part of my plan. One of the things that make me happy is not doing anything today that I didn't plan. Okay, if you are a good person, um, try to do a good person thing. If you're a good person, don't do what a bad person does. If I don't I I'm at that age where I don't want to do anything that I didn't plan to do because I got a good heart, and you can catch a case like that. You could find yourself right smack dab in the middle of a, let's say, terrible relationship, and you can catch a case. Okay, so stay to yourself. The Bible says it like this: if you are married, don't desire to be single. If you are single, don't desire to be married. All right. Do what it is that you plan to do. If you plan to be a good husband, just be a good husband. That's it. Don't go to the bars. Don't go to clubs. It doesn't match. Okay. if you want to be, I'm single, uh, do what it is single people do. The Bible says it like this: the married person has a heart for the church. All right, that's why they take their kids, take them to church every Sunday, stuff like that. There, the married person, I mean, I'm sorry, the single person has the heart for the church. Okay, that kind of makes sense because when he comes back, he's coming back for his bride. All right. So right now, you could look at yourself if you're going to church as a bridesmaid. There were 10 of them. All right. They showed up early because they're waiting for the bridegroom. Okay. And I guess they had to end up spending the night outside. The door wasn't open yet, or the club didn't open, or whatever. Or the guy who's getting ready to get married, he didn't show up yet. All right. So they had to use their lanterns for light. Now, the problem is the lanterns they had weren't USB charged like ours are. All right. Their lanterns use oil. They, I don't know, they don't like creepy crawling things at night. So they use their lanterns so that they could see the bugs or something. I don't know. So 5 of them ran out of their oil. And then you could hear somebody, you could hear when the bridegroom was coming in because everybody was like, hey, hey, he's here, he's here. So the 10 bridesmaids could hear that. And the ones who used their lamps at night, they ran out of oil. So they, okay. So they were like, hey, could you give us some of your oil? And the 5 that didn't, the 5 that went to sleep and saved that oil, they were like, no, I can't because I need the oil that I have left so I could spend the night with the bridegroom and we want to have our candles lit. Get it? All right. So that's kind of the story there. So they told them, they gave them good advice. Hey, I'm going to town and buy some oil from somebody who sells it. You know, but I guess town was a little far away. However far your mall is from where you are, that's probably how far they had to go to buy some more oil. Kind of look at it like that. And by the time they got there, got in line, waited their turn, they didn't have Walmarts and stuff like that there. Holy moly, Walmarts are open 24/7. So after you got to that mall or something, you had to find somebody, you had to wake them up, okay? And then come back. And by then, the bride's groom closed. I mean, he closed the door. He's not going to stand there and wait for you. All right, where's these 5 chicks? He wants to get married. Come on, I've been waiting a long time. So he's going to close the door. All right, how many are out here? 5. Okay, come on in, you 5, and he's going to lock the door. All right, because they don't have security at those types of ceremonies. Okay, and then they usually have their wedding ceremonies on the roof. All right, so they don't want to leave the door open and anybody can just walk in because everybody's upstairs on the roof. Get it? Okay, so kind of look at it like that. And so they had 5 wise bridesmaids and they had 5 foolish bridesmaids. So I stuck with the Bible long enough. I heard enough preachers, pastors, teachers, and evangelists to explain the Bible that way. I think I'm more effective. I could be more effective if I did it the other way, but I tend to like it breaking it down like that and meeting people and giving them the big picture. But this is me preaching the gospel to you, okay? More than anything else, I want you to get saved. And it will change your life. If you get saved, you're going to find yourself being one of the 5 bridesmaids who didn't use their oil overnight. You're going to be one of the wise bridesmaids. Same amount of time as the 5 unwise bridesmaids. Is that a word? I don't know. Oh, foolish bridesmaids. Okay. So you'll find yourself in two different places and two different positions. If you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior and Lord, you're going to find yourself in a position where you can enjoy the bride feast. And the way I'm interpreting it is it was pretty fancy. All right. It was fancy enough for Jesus to actually go to a wedding. Okay. He wasn't a bridesmaid or whatever. But what he bought as a wedding gift was some of the best wine that the person who the caterer, the bridal caterer or whatever, he is a person back in those days. If you wanted to plan a wedding, you would go to him. So he did a couple of them, and when Jesus and his buddies came, uh, the caterer didn't have enough wine, okay, for all these extra people. So let's say that when Jesus showed up, he probably had all 12 of his disciples. So that was 12 more than than the bridal shower guy had planned. So what Jesus did was he turned the water into wine, and the guy who was running it said, "This is the best wine I've ever had. I didn't know that you're the first person out of all these I did who saved the best wine for last." All right, because most people, their theory was, all right, serve the good wine, get everybody drunk, and then after a while they won't realize that they're drinking watered down wine. All right, so that was the thinking back then. That's just how they did it. But here comes Jesus, and he turned it into the best wine that this person ever had. So that's the significance of being one of the wise uh, bridesmaids. All right, that's the difference when you accept the Christ as your personal Savior and Lord. He'll bring stuff, and you get some of it, and He'll give you some of it, as opposed to you being a foolish bridesmaid, using what you got, and eventually you'll run out of it. But the Son of Man, he, he you know, if he wants to make wine, he's just going to make wine out of nothing. Okay, that's what the deceiver tried to do to him too. He said, "Hey, I know you're hungry. Why don't you turn this rock into bread?" Because he knew that he could do that. And he could turn anything into anything. If you could turn water into wine, chances are pretty good if you're that same person, you could turn a stone into bread. See how the deceiver works. So once you get saved, then you may think like me, or at least you're keeping your mind on Christ Jesus, who can do that, who could turn water into wine, even if he doesn't. If you get saved, you might be like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And what they did was got into a little bit of trouble. They became criminals. They got a criminal record. And the way they got it was, the guy who was in charge, he was like, "Hey, uh, whenever oh no, that was Daniel. Why did they get in trouble? Why did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego get in trouble? Does anybody know that? I know the story and I know the moral of the story, but I can't remember exactly why they got in trouble. So I may use the wrong example because I'm not looking at it. It's just a story I know that I think about sometimes. But when it came down to it, the king, they didn't want to do something that the king had everybody do. So Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego was like, "Oh, nah, bruh. Uh, this ain't that kind of party for us." So they was like, "No, we're not doing that." Okay. And the king was like, "Well, I got to make an example out of you. I like you guys." They were promoted to being, working in the king's. They had a job where they worked for the king, but they were slaves. So they got promoted and they ended up working for the king. So they were close to him. So he was like, "Well, I got to make an example out of you because if you don't do it, everybody else is going to do it." All right. They're trying to shut down Iran so much, not because they are particularly, a threat, or anything, but they have to shut down anybody who's going to stand up to their power, because if one does it, then they think everybody's going to do it. So they have to make an example out of Iran. That's my thoughts on Iran. And I also know that Iran used to be called Persia. So that's what I was talking about earlier today before I was asking people to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize. And I want you to be able to get 1,000 subscribers. So, hey, if you like and subscribe to mine, I'll like and subscribe to yours. Okay? And wish you the best. Okay, so they were just set in their ways. If somebody's set in their ways, you're not going to be able to talk them out of it. Okay, no, we're just not doing that. When somebody says no, and they mean no, and you know you can't talk them out of it, and the king understood that because they had a relationship with them. All right, and so the penalty for not doing what the king wants is kind of like if you go to court, they got all these. They don't really have a particular penalty for not obeying the king or something like that. They may have a penalty. Let me see. How can I describe this? Because some of these charges that people get, I know there's no book with all these charges in it. So they just come up with something, some kind of name, and they make it a crime. You know, spitting on a sidewalk, that's a crime. What 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 kind of law is that? Where did that law come from? Spitting on the sidewalk is a crime. So they just named it something, and since you did it, you broke the law. So you know back then it was pretty much the same. So the punishment for that is uh, we're going to burn you in a furnace. So they must have used it before because they didn't have to build the furnace and put those three boys in there. All right, they just had to throw some wood in there and light it, and I guess it wasn't that big. It was big enough for them to stand up in and walk around in, but they made it red hot. If something is red hot, it's because it's confined. It's not a open pit. All right, they didn't throw them in an open pit. They threw them in a fiery furnace. Okay, so this is how I like to do the Bible. I like to see it. If I can see it, then I can be it. I believe that furnace was hot. Okay. So it was so hot that the people who were supposed to take and put them in there, they got burned up because the king back then, you did what he said or else. All right. So it's kind of like now, if they tell you to go to war, you go to war or else. Okay. I mean, it's kind of cold, but you know, we had the No Kings March, but uh, what we should have had was the march to tell the emperor he don't have on no clothes. That's the kind of march we should have had, but you know, I digress. What we ended up doing is having a No Kings March. So anyway, oh boy. So I digress. So from now until this term for this regime is over, don't do another rally or a protest if it isn't telling the king that he doesn't have on any clothes. I guess you guys forgot about that story. So everybody was so afraid of him that nobody wanted to tell him that he didn't have on any clothes. Sheesh, I guess he was having some kind of moment. All right, so anyway, and then the kings back then, you know, they weren't exactly the biggest strong arm kind of kings and stuff. I mean, you could have got a king that looked like anything back then. All right, an in shape king or out of shape king or a king that kind of went both ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, but I think the king of Sodom and I think there had to be a king for Sodom and a king for Gomorrah or something like that there. So yeah. So anyway, that's what is my prayer for you that the next rally or the protest you go to is one that we're telling the king he don't have on no clothes. All right. Or we have to stand up and tell him, hey, you're supposed to be doing things for our good. All right. And don't have him send. I can't understand this. He's sending ICE to the airports. Okay. And I guess the reason why he's doing that is because he paid them. They set the money aside for them. All right. And people kind of shut the ICE agents down. So they have to use the money. So remember, I'm going to take you a little further back. Uh, these ICE agents are military people. And the Orange Man, when he came in, he did exactly what we asked him to do, bring the people home from the war zones and stuff. And Sleepy Joe, he did too. Remember when they had the plane or coming from Palestine or something like that there, and the Palestinian people that couldn't fit on the plane, they were running alongside of it. I don't know what they thought. I don't know what their thinking was. I'm there, but that would be fake news. Fake news. It's all fake news. I hope that sounds like the Orange Man to you because that's what I think I sound like. So that would be fake news. Young people running alongside of the plane because have you ever seen people run alongside of a plane? Okay. They're huge. He can't see you. Okay. If you're running in front of the plane, right, if he decides that, okay, he's going to rev up the engine, you're going to get run over. So that's what they mean by fake news, okay? Um, so full stop on that. In order for you to get your prayers answered, all right, you're going to have to do what they call shadow work. All right. Now these words that you guys are using, we've had other words for them, but let's go with what you guys know. All right. It is called shadow work. All right. In the Bible, he would place us under his wings. We would be under the shadow of his wings, under his protection. Basically, he said, "Oh, I wish that if I could, I would take you like a mother hen and shadow you with my wings." All right. Um, Now the shadow work in 2026. It can be done. It's not witchcraft. Don't let anyone talk you out of doing it because they think it's witchcraft because it might have something to do with meditating. Meditating is not witchcraft. Meditating and shadow work is not witchcraft. If you put them together, if you take them separately, it's not witchcraft. Okay? I wouldn't have done these sort of things in the past because that's what I thought it was. But once I woke up, now I understand it isn't. So I'm going to give you a way to look at it that might help you. Okay? Um, Look at what the Bible said about he would take you under the shadow of his wings. Okay? If you see a shadow, somebody's shadow or something, they are in a different position. They are probably in front of the sun. All right? And if they are in front of you, they could cast their shadow on you. Okay? And so you are doing whatever you're doing in that person's shadow. You got a CEO or something like that. You're doing the shadow work. You are working in that company or whatever. But your goal is to surpass the CEO and start your own business. All right. So instead of just coming out with your own business, then you might want to do the shadow work first. So spiritually, doing the shadow work is um, you want to go over some of the thoughts and some of the things that are keeping you from prospering. You want to find out why you get so far and then you fail, or you take one step backward, one step forward, and two steps backwards. All right. This is where your shadow work is being done. All right, was that a clear enough picture of the shadow work? The purpose of the shadow work is uh, to uh, get in front of the shadow that's being cast. All right, so kind of look at it like that. I got that picture the other day. So thoughts on Iran? Yes, those are the thoughts I had. Oh, hey, Abam Hardar, Kolung. Hi. I like to say Grand Rising. I don't know what time it is over there where you are, but with a name like that, for a YouTube channel, you probably speak a second language. Okay. So I have a simple uh, name for my YouTube channel because I only speak one language. My YouTube channel is called David David. So if you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me get 1,000 subscribers. And remember, people, don't get tired of me saying that. Repetition is the master of whatever that saying is. Okay, so that's why I keep doing that. All right. So my thoughts on Iran is it's quite biblical. The orange man is being used, and he's fulfilling a prophecy. At the same time, he is doing whatever it is he's doing. But but I watched this movie called Ender's Game, and it's about this young kid. They needed somebody who could think outside the box. So of course they went to the kids because if you start with the older people, they're set in their ways, and if you want to make changes, you can't be set in your ways. You got to be flexible and roll with the punches. All right. So they had a dilemma. Um, this is reminding me of that movie Ender's Game. My thoughts on Iran is that movie. If you get a chance, watch it. He was just a regular kid. He wasn't particularly. His IQ probably was one. His IQ was probably 85 to 115, but which is average here, and 116 to 125 is above average, and 130 and above is your Elon Musk genius type of some stuff. All right. So, for example, you can make $1 million and not be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, and you could hit the lottery, win $1 million, and they say that the people who win those have issues with the money. And 5 years later, they probably are right back where they started. It's kind of like you could take the boy out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the boy because they're going to do what it is they always did. And you're going to get what you always got. Okay? So, anyway, if you got a couple of dollars, you're going to learn. I hope you learn how to invest it. I'm taking what I have and I'm investing my discretionary $20 a month into Black Wall Street. It's a meme coin, and it's designed after what had happened to the melanated people once we got our freedom, or we were no longer slaves. We kind of had to build our own town, and you know why. And the town that we had a Black Wall Street in it. Okay, so that's kind of what this coin is emulating. People of color, uh, the Bible says it like this: when times got hard, each one took what they had, sold it, so there would be enough for everybody. Okay, so this is kind of our thinking with the Black Wall Street meme coin. Everybody is going to get a little piece of it to where it finally generates enough income. And the brilliance about that is they can't burn it down. Or they may, you know, shut it down and we can't invest in it anymore. They may be able to do that, which would be equivalent to what they did to Black Wall Street. They burned it down, killed the people, and took the land. Um, but until it does, we can go ahead and invest in ourselves. Pay yourself. Put if you put five aside, um, you're better than somebody who's out there trying to borrow and beg for a couple of dollars. Hey man, you got a couple of dollars? the Bible says that you shall lend and not borrow. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have your income coming from somewhere, or if he's providing for you, if he calls you, he's guiding you. If he's guiding you, he's providing for you. You know, I believe even the creator of heaven and earth gave us a scripture that says he never seen his seed begging bread. Okay. I mean, even when I was homeless, I wasn't on the street homeless. I had a place where I could go and be homeless. And the reason why I was able to do that was because when I was younger, I went into the military. And the military, the GI Bill or the Veterans Administration, they do provide for homeless people. They have homeless shelters that the veterans can go to, as opposed to some of the people who are homeless now. They didn't invest and go into the military or something. They're just pretty much out there on the street. Okay, so you're going to have to do something now so you have something to rely on later. Okay, and the more you give now, the more karma will give back to you when you need it. The Bible says it like this: Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, multiplied, and running over shall men give unto your bosom. All right, there are people who were here before you, for example, the Social Security people. They knew that when you reached a certain age, no matter what you have, it wasn't going to be enough, no matter what you saved. All right, so they provided uh, Social Security for you. It's a social safety net. Okay, um, I, I have to register my vehicle every year or every 2 years. And the way I would do it is sometimes if the money was right and if the registration was due, I would pay for 2 years. Sometimes the money wasn't right. It's time for me to renew my registration and I didn't renew it on time. But eventually, to this day, I have a almost current registration. Okay, because now I'm on a fixed income and I went from my memory of what the registration fee was. All right, and I was like, oh man, I don't have enough. But now I'm eligible for my registration fee at a very, very low rate. I got my registration as a senior, it was only $12. Okay, but before I became a senior, I think my registration was like $80 a year. I'm not sure, but I had a job, so I didn't care. It's like, okay, here's your $80, and then I'll get a check, you know, probably on Friday or something like that. So I wouldn't really miss the money so much. But here's what I want you to learn: money may leave your hand, but it doesn't leave your life. You have to you have to understand, if money is a river, and if a river has a current, the undertow and stuff, you can't really get a cup of the river. Okay, but you can look at it and you can see that it's there. If you get into it, it's going to drag you down the river. You know what I'm saying? But all you can really get of it is a cup of it. Get it? Isn't that amazing? Out of all that water that's in the river, you're all right. So what they decided to do, because man, think he's so smart, they decided to build dams and stuff like that there. Yeah. All right. Technically, they're still only getting a cup of water. All right, and all they're doing is keeping the people downstream from getting at that water or having access to that water. That's why the Euphrates River dried up. It didn't dry up because it's so hot. It dried up because it was prophesied to. And you should learn that prophecy. What's going to happen when that joker dries up? There's going to be something coming up out of there. And I didn't say it. It's in the Bible. I'm not crazy. I'm just reading what I read. And there was no reason for you in the years past to look at the Euphrates River and ever think it was going to dry up. Okay, But sure enough, it has, and somebody said something about it. It either had done that before, and somebody was predicting it would happen again, or the person who wrote that was getting some insight that we should be aware of, and he left this information for us. It That's what it's like being in the kingdom of heaven here on earth. You're going to find out things. You, um, you're going to be prophesied to. You're going to listen to prophecies, and you're going to have an idea what's coming. Where the average person who's not in the kingdom of heaven, they ain't going to have a clue. 1,000 of them are going to die at one hand, and 10,000 of them are going to die on the other side. And I could be one of those, but for the sake of the story, I'm going to say some of those are going to be people we love, sacrificed for, trying to get them into the kingdom of heaven, and they didn't make it. The people who got to heaven before we did, we shouldn't be sad. Um, they are where we're trying to get. After you go through all this down here and still end up in purgatory or wherever, I mean, what's the point? So the best case scenario is we're trying to get a place called heaven and be with the Creator, who put everything down here for us to enjoy. Even if it's bad, he uses all things for a good. You want to get that type of goal with your life. If you can't figure out what's the point of living, yeah, you don't want to do that sort of thing that 988 is designed to help you through. You don't want to reach that point of view. You want to get a good point of view. You want to do good. You want to say good things, and look for the look for good results from that. Okay, and just keep on living, no matter what you do, because you can't give God in giving, no matter what you do. Okay, He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever shall love Him or whatever shall have everlasting life. All right, so since His Son was here, He was doing things differently. In order for you to get that everlasting life, you might want to start doing some of those things that He was doing that you can do if you have everlasting life. If he who believes in me and the works that I do, greater things than I have, greater things than I do shall he do, because I go to the Father. And everybody knows that when he was on that old rugged cross, he went to prepare a place for us in heaven. So that's the goal. I don't know if you don't have that goal. Uh, from my perspective, you might be 1,000 on one side and maybe 10,000 on the other side. Don't do that. Find the good in it. Find the silver lining in it. Don't be the person that when you go to the grave, you had the most toys, so you win. I've had much. I've had little. I'm content both in both scenarios. Okay. So that's my story. I think I've covered the 5 points that I wanted to make. If you've been here since 2 hours ago, you may have a list of things that I went over. But I haven't said anything bad. I don't mean any. I don't mean any harm to you. I'm not talking down to you. I want you to have what I have or better. It's no skin off of my nose for you to be doing better than I'm doing. I'm not even mad at the orange man. If the creator of heaven and earth is using you to do that, okay. I don't know who the creator of heaven and earth used to administer what he wanted to Job, but the creator of heaven and earth actually liked Job. He gave him righteousness. Righteousness, as far as I'm concerned, is a gift. Okay. Okay. So If you, being evil, knows how to give a good gift, how much more that your Father in heaven will give a good gift. Okay? So, be of good cheer. He has overcome the world. The only problem is you have to go through it every day. So go through it with a winner's attitude. You are the head and not the tail. And no matter what happens to you today, do not curse God. Okay? Love ya. See ya.